You serious? Another Master Fair before the year ends? And then there's another Poke Fair. But it's Lucas. I mean, we've been waiting for Lucas ever since. And then there's 2 seasonals and lots and lots and lots and lots of reruns. Now, in this video, we will be discussing if they are worth your gems or not. And with that said, strap on your seatbelts, hit the thumbs up button, and enjoy watching. Let's do this! Yo, yo, yo! This is also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this team's called Grunt. And this is Pokemon Masters EX. Guys, thank you once again for all the love in my gem count video. You know, this is my sacrifice for you guys. Today, I was supposed to go on with my family for dinner outside, and I decided to stay home just to get this video out to you guys. So, thank you for the love. I really appreciate it. I hope the sacrifice was worth it. Anyway, this is my January Sync Pairs Who to Scout for video, and my analysis, my bird's eye view analysis of these sync pairs that are coming. And later on, I will have an individual analysis for all these sync pairs. So stay tuned for that. But, you know, all these slides took hours and hours to do, especially the individual, you know, sync pair screens and everything. So I would appreciate it once again if you could share some love by hitting the thumbs up button, leaving a comment because helps with the YouTube algorithm as well, and then, you know, share this to anyone who's having a hard time deciding, your friends or everything, and, you know, subscribe if you haven't, because why not? You're in the perfect place for Pokemon Masters EX content, and I do this every single month. And with that said, we have 4 new sync pairs coming, as well as a lot of reruns. I am pretty sure we will have more than just 4 for January. So wait till the mid or latter part of January. There's gonna be an introduction to more sync pairs. February is the 2.5 year anniversary. So, do you think it's worth it to scout for these sync pairs or not? And before I continue, let me just give a huge shout out to Absol-utely for, you know, all the data mine info and stuff. So, if you wish to, you can check the data mine out for yourself in the description. Give him some love and give this video some love as well. So, as of the moment, we have these sync pairs. We have Signa-Suit Cynthia Renegade, or Renegade Cynthia in short, coming on December 27, yes, this month, and 2 months after February 27. 2 months! Meanwhile, we have my favorite out of the bunch, outfit-wise and moves-wise, I guess, which is Vultner, New Year Vultner, coming on January 1, and one day after my birthday, January 17. And then we also have New Year's Sabrina coming on the same day, January 1 until January 17. And then long-awaited Poke Fair Lucas, January 13 to February 27, same end date as Renegade Cynthia. So same end date, Lucas slightly more than 1 month, Renegade Cynthia 2 months. Staying with us. And before I elaborate on each one, let me just share my thoughts once again. You know, people get shafted with Master Fairs. Renegade Cynthia is a Master Fair. 1% chance of getting her. First 5 multi-pulls, you get presents. 12% chance of getting a 5-star unit. If I were you, I'll do 5 multi-pulls and then for the presents, and then you're free to decide whether you want Renegade Cynthia or not. I mean, we had Anniversary Lily, and probably a lot of you scouted for Anniversary Lily. She's a ghost type, Anniversary Lily is a ghost type. Anniversary Lily is Striker. Renegade Cynthia is a tech sync pair. So that means you get to hit one opponent only with a sync move with increased damage if she is 6-star EX. Meanwhile, we finally have another electric type striker. We don't exactly have a lot of electric type 6-star EX strikers. We had N, we had Alessa. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had other electric type strikers that are capable of 6-star EXing. I mean, we had a lot of electric type tech sync pairs. We had Marnie, super strong. We have classic Alessa just released. We have more Clement and stuff. But we don't have a lot of electric type strikers. And I know a lot of you want to compare Vultner with N. Stay tuned for that. I'm gonna make an analysis video for that as the time comes closer to, you know, his release date. But I'm really excited about his outfit. I'm really excited about his kit. Meanwhile, we also have New Year Sabrina, who is a very, very good support unit. First sync pair to bring in special moves up next. We had two sync pairs with the physical moves up next. We had Cosplay Guzma. We had Holiday Leon. And this one is the first unit to give us special moves up next. But not just for her, but for everyone in our team. And you know what? There's still more to her kit that we will be discussing later. I'm really excited about that. And speaking of cosplay, Guzma. These two look like they can fit together with cosplay Guzma with their outfits. Like the Imperial, I don't know whatchamacallit, army style martial artist thing, I think can fit well with the generation of whatever. You guys know what I mean. And then we have Lucas, who's also a tech sync pair. Which is sad. Tech. I mean, he's a dragon type. But then we had a lot of dragon type strikers. I think it's fine that he's tech. And, you know, we've been waiting for Lucas for the longest time. Now I'm waiting for Victor. And I hope that they don't shaft Victor with another bad sync pair. I hope it's Lucas, or rather Victor with Scorbunny / Cinderace, who can Gigantamax. And then who has... You know, we're talking about Libero. Libero can change your typing. It would be awesome if Cinderace has Libero and can change his sync move type. That is so gonna be awesome. You know, if we get Master Fair Victor next month, no idea who we'll get. But if we could get Master Fair Victor next month with Libero, change his sync move type depending on what the last attack is. Oh my goodness, that is so gonna be awesome. But now we're talking about these guys. And by the way, I forgot to mention about New Year Lance and New Year Lily. New Year Lily, one of my favorite support units. New Year Lily can set up Dare Hit All Plus, as well as set up evasiveness buffs for everyone. And then New Year Lance is one of the few flying, not really few, but one of the flying type strikers that we have. And I'll be discussing them a little bit less than the others, but I'll be discussing them later, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'm going to more detail right now, starting with Renegade Cynthia and Giratina. Time isn't flowing, and space isn't stable. A world where the rules are broken. Very sus, very sinister looking, very sinister sounding rather. And if you check out her sync move, this is what it looks like. Oh. Okay, this is honestly my first time watching that. I like how the glass just shattered. It looks cool and stuff. And wait, why is this video replaying? This is Giratina altered form, and the outfit just screams nun. Vampire to me. Vampiric nun. It's a very sinister looking outfit. I'm honestly kind of scared looking at Cynthia. I'm not well, if the goal is to make her look very evil and sus and everything, they succeeded in making this design, but I'm kind of scared looking at her and her design. You have hers starting December 27, ends on February 27. If you're worried about not being able to scout for her, you can hold on to your gems because she's staying for 2 months. And if you're wondering how many gems we can get for the month of January, I'm not sure why you haven't watched my how many gems can we get for the month of January yet. Link in the description or in the card over there to the top right if you see it. And then she has 2 different attacks and 1 weird thing. She has Shadow Ball, 20% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense. She has Shadow Force, which is her signature move, or rather the signature move of Giratina. It's a slightly more powerful version, not just slightly, but a way more powerful version of Phantom Force, which basically makes Giratina disappear, spend, you know, the charge up thing, and then attacks the opponent. Now, as she does this, Super Shadow applies the super effective up next to Giratina. So if the opponent is weak to ghost type attacks, use Shadow Force, disappear, gets the Super Shadow thing, and then hits the opponent with a super effective up next. Now, there's one way to play with this, and that is to apply, or rather to use Shadow Force before the enemy uses a sync move. Use Shadow Force, get the Super Shadow effect, opponent uses a sync move on you, you get interrupted, and then you use a sync move on the opponent. So your sync move is gonna have the super effective up next effect on the opponent. So that's how you can play with this one. But keep in mind that Shadow Force is a quick move. So you can only use Shadow Force 3 times. And basically, by doing this, by using Shadow Force, disappearing, getting interrupted, you're wasting 1 MP. But, you know, if you can make that work, if you can make Super Shadow work and land a super effective up next sync move on the opponent, I mean, that could be worth it. She also has a move called Ghost Wish, which basically is like electric terrain for ghost type sync pairs. I don't know what the game is trying to invent here. Ghost Wish is not part of the normal Pokemon games, and there's no such thing as Ghost Zone for the normal Pokemon games. This is a Pokemon Masters exclusive attack or move. Basically sets up a spooky, eerie zone which powers up ghost type moves for any single opponent, or anyone in the field with a ghost type attack. So if you want, you can pair her up with Anniversary Lily and everything and make your ghost moves powerful using Ghost Wish. Now, if there's a ghost zone, your Renegade Shadow Force sync move gets more powered up because of the built-in multiplier. And then she has a trainer move called Show Me Your Secrets. 1 MP only, you can use this once. Raises your attack and special attack +4. Maximizes your critical hit rate and lowers your defense and special defense -1. As you might know, Shadow Ball is a special attack. Shadow Force is a physical attack. Shadow Force, or rather her sync move, is also a physical attack. Speaking of attack and physical attack, or rather special attack and physical attack, her physical attack stat is 380, special attack stat is 434. Defenses are kind of typical for tech sync pairs, but low HP. 609 HP is pretty low. In fact, all the sync pairs we have this month have pretty low HP. I don't think anyone has more than 700 HP over here. But, I mean, your defenses, guys, will be raised because she is a Master Fair. And she has Sinnoh Flag Bearer, basically powers up everyone's attacks by 10% and reduces the damage you receive by 20% for normal attacks. This does not apply to sync moves, and the more sync pairs with Sinnoh in your team, the higher these percentages are, to a maximum of 30% stronger attack stats, attack and special attack stats, and more defense stat by 26% maximum. She also has Sundering 9, which basically is... It's been a while since I saw Sundering 9. This is Signasuit Leaf's passive skill. It basically lowers the opponent's defense or special defense, or both, whenever you attack them. So this is a 100% chance of lowering either defense or special defense, or both, whenever you attack the opponent. Invigorating Shadow 2, basically whenever you use Shadow Force, your move gauge gets charged up by 2. And then Super Shadow, we already discussed that, applies the super effective up next, which you can play around with in order to apply the super effective up next to your sync move. And then now, as you might know, we have new deluxe lucky cookies. Sadly, we do not get new critical strikes. The maximum is still critical strike 2, but we have a new one called Super Powered 3. And I feel that Super Powered 3 is better in terms of not off type damage, but on point ghost type opponent weakness damage. So if your opponent is weak to ghost type attacks, Super Powered 3 can power up both your moves and sync moves by probably 30%. I mean, normally the numbers correspond to what the percentages are in terms of damage increase. So it should be stronger than Critical Strike 2. So basically, if you do not land a critical hit on the opponent, it's still more powered up. So I think Super Powered 3 is better than Critical Strike 2 in this case. But if you are going to do, you know, off-type sync pair thing, Super Powered 3 unfortunately will not work. It will be better to get Critical Strike 2 on her instead. And now, let's come to her sync grid. So at 1 out of 5, you don't exactly get any notable sync grid tiles. At 2 out of 5, you get Invigorating Shadow 1, which basically adds up to Invigorating Shadow 2. When you use Phantom or Shadow Force, you charge up your move gauge by 3 instead of by 2 because of Invigorating Shadow 2 plus Invigorating Shadow 1. Also get Shadow Ball, super duper effective one, powers up your Shadow Ball. You get Show Me Your Secrets MP Refresh 2, basically Show Me Your Secrets, powers up your attack and special attack plus 4. So if you want to maximize that, get the MP Refresh, but keep in mind every time you use it, you get to lower your defense and special defense -1. You also get another super duper effective 2, powers up your attacks, either Shadow Ball or Phantom Force, or rather Shadow Force. And then 2 out of 5, you get Sync Stat Reboot 9, which basically lowers or raises back your lowered stats to normal. So if you have any stat below 0, it goes back to 0. That's what Sync Stat Reboot 9 does. At 3 out of 5, she gets a Sync Move Multiplier, Brain Sync 5. That means if your special attack is raised even +1, your sync move gets powered up by 50% around that amount. No need to have your sync, or rather special attack max, just +1 will trigger this. Ghost Wish Group Morale Boost 4 has a 50% chance of raising the special attack of all allied sync pairs when you use Ghost Wish. Group Pep Talk 4 has a 50% chance of raising the attack stat of everyone. Ghost Wish MP Refresh 2 has a chance or has a 30% chance of, you know, restoring 1 MP. Haunted Healing, every time you attack when there is a ghost zone terrain, you get to heal a bit of HP. And then Shadow Ball on a roll 2 basically raises the chances of lowering the opponent's special defense when you use Shadow Ball. I think this is overkill, but I mean, if you want to lower the opponent's special defense quicker, you can get this. But keep in mind that you already have Sundering 9, which lowers the opponent's defense or special defense, or both. And Shadow Ball already has a, how many percent? 30%, I think, 20% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense by 1. So even without Honor Roll 2, you have a chance of lowering the opponent's special defense -2 every time you use Shadow Ball. Smarty Pants, the more the opponent's special defense is lowered, the stronger your sync moves are. And then Sync Quickening, when you use a sync move, you basically restore 1 MP for Shadow Force. This does not restore an MP to Ghost Wish, only Shadow Force, so keep that in mind as well. And then she gets 2 Sync Nuke Tiles at 3 out of 5 as well. So she gets 3 Sync Move multipliers in the form of Brain Sync 5, Smarty Pants, and the built-in Sync Move multiplier, which is if the zone or if the terrain is Ghost Zone, your sync moves get powered up. And by the way, guys, one more thing. Ghost Zone already powers up your Ghost type moves. Keep that in mind. Ghost Zone already powers up your Ghost type attacks and Ghost type sync moves. So that plus the built-in multiplier plus these make her sync move and attacks quite strong. We'll see how much damage, how much DPS, how much sync nuke damage she can deal later. But for the meantime, let's move on to my favorite out of the bunch, New Year 2022 Vultner and Electivire. If you see the screen, congratulate yourselves, you got Vultner. I'm excited about his outfit. Lucario! Lucario! Anyway guys, this is Vultner. Looks like we're starting off this year on the right foot. No interesting attacks, nothing new. We have Discharge, we have Thunder. Discharge is an AoE attack. Thunder is a single opponent attack. Thunder has a lower accuracy, and in his sync grid you have a chance of increasing the accuracy stat or accuracy of Thunder. But Discharge is a 30% chance of making the target paralyzed. Thunder also has a 30% chance of leaving the target paralyzed and never misses if it is raining. X special attack basically raises your special attack by 2. And its electric raises your speed stat +2, raises your accuracy and critical hit rate +1. So, if you want, you can use its electric twice, raise your critical hit rate, X special attack, and you basically get stronger and more accurate. Hope and Happiness Electric Beam does not have any sync move multiplier whatsoever. And guys, check that out. His HP is low. 573 HP is very low. But his special attack stat is 468, which is very, very high. If you make him 6-star EX, that special attack stat goes up to 508. Now, I heard you guys said no need for level 135 stats now. So I gave them 140 stats. So if you 6-star EX him, he gets 673 HP, he gets 508 special attack stat, which is very, very high. Not too bad defense and special defense for a striker like this, but keep in mind again that the HP is quite low. And he has quite some interesting passive skills. We have Super Duper 9. Are they running out of creativity juices? I mean, Super Duper Effective, they remove the effective. Super Duper 9 applies the super effective up next effect to the user when the move is super effective. So if the opponent's weak to electric type attacks, use Discharge or Thunder on the opponent. Your next move is gonna be super effective up next. This next move can be either an attack or a sync move. So basically alternate damage, alternating stronger damage, alternating weaker, alternate stronger, alternate weaker. This reminds me of Marnie. Marnie with Mode Swing, which Marnie transforms into electric type, then dark type, then electric type, then dark types, whichever form Marnie becomes or Morpeko becomes, that form becomes stronger. Vultner reminds me similarly, but the thing with Vultner is that Discharge can hit everyone. Marnie can only hit one, but Hard Trip is quite strong. But Super Freebie, whenever the opponent is weak to electric type attacks, and you use an attack on the opponent, has a 30% chance of making your next move a free move next. Which is pretty good, because both his attacks are 3 move gauge attacks. And then Conductive Sync turns the field to electric terrain after using a sync move for the first time. Now, there's one thing about this guy, and that is you cannot use Vultner with Vultner. As you might know, one of the staples of electric type teams is that you pair up any electric type. You pair up Marnie, you pair up N, you pair up How, you pair up Sophocles or anyone with Vultner because of electric terrain. Electric terrain makes everything stronger. And for some reason, you cannot pair him up with himself. That's illegal. Like how you cannot pair up Kukui with Sus, the Mask Royale. But Conductive Sync turns the field to electric terrain. As you might know, electric terrain is not permanent unless you get the field effects are permanent, you know, thing in Champion Stadium. But you know, there's another sync pair that can cause electric terrain. Not just him, you know. There's Classic Alessa, who, by the way, today is the final day. If you want to scout for Classic Alessa, today is your final day if you're watching this video. I'm gonna post this later anyway. So you have a couple of hours left before Classic Alessa goes bye-bye, the best debuffer in the game currently. So if you want to pair him up with Classic Alessa, you can probably have electric terrain twice, but you cannot pair him up with yourself. And there's no MP refresh here. You can only land electric terrain, cause electric terrain after your first sync move. There's no sync pair that can extend electric terrain as far as I know. So keep that in mind, guys. And same thing for earlier. We got Superpowered 3 as my probably lucky skill of choice over here because you cannot maximize your critical hit rate using him. You can only use its electric twice unless you get an MP refresh. And then Critical Strike 2 if you want. Now, the thing with the other Vultner as well is that the other Vultner can easily flinch the opponent. This one, there's no flinching capabilities, but very high special attack stat. Very high. Let's move on to his sync grid. At 1 out of 5, he gets Lithe, prevents you from getting paralyzed. 2 out of 5, you get Fast Track 9. Every single time you use a move, you use Thunder, you use Discharge, your speed stat goes up +1. And as you might see over there, down there, 3 out of 5 you get ramming speed. The higher your speed stat is, the stronger your Discharge and Thunder will be. You get its Electric MP Refresh 2 at 2 out of 5 as well. Chance of restoring 1 MP, which allows you to maximize your critical hit rate, and maximize your speed stat and accuracy, kind of. Increase a little bit more accuracy. And then we got Pinpoint Entry, which raises your accuracy +1 immediately at the start of the battle. Shock Recovery, if the field is electric terrain, you get to recover HP every single time you attack. Static Shock 3 is a sync move multiplier if the opponent is paralyzed. You have a 30% chance of paralyzing every single opponent using this charge. If the opponent's paralyzed, you get to deal 30% around that amount more damage on the opponent. Super Crit 9, if you land a critical, or rather, if the opponent is weak to electric type attacks, and you hit the opponent with using either Thunder or Discharge, you get to raise your critical hit rate. So everything I said earlier about not maximizing your critical hit rate, if you have him at 2 out of 5, that is no need, because you can maximize your critical hit rate this way. And then X Special Attack MP Refresh 2, you know what that does. 3 out of 5, you get another sync move multiplier. Double down 3 if the opponent's weak to electric type attacks. Your sync move gets more stronger. Ramming speed, as I said, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your attacks become. Soften Up 1. Now, let me remind everyone what this does again. So basically, you start off with +0 critical hit rate. If you use a sync move, your critical hit rate indirectly -1, whatever critical hit rate you are. So at 0 critical hit rate, I think the chances of landing a critical hit is slightly somewhere 20-25%, somewhere there. It's a very, very low percentage. But if you have 0 critical hit rate and you use a sync move, it becomes like -1. There's no chance of landing a critical hit on the opponent. At +1, I think it's a 50% chance of critical hits. +2, I think it's a 70 to 80, somewhere there, chance of critical hit. And at +3, it's a 100% chance of landing a critical hit with a normal attack. Again, with a sync move, it's always -1. So if you're wondering why you can land critical hits all the time using normal attacks and not with sync moves, that's the reason. Soften Up 1 basically negates that -1 reduction with your critical hit rate with the sync move. So if you have critical hit rate +3, that's basically a 100% chance of landing a critical hit using a sync move. So that's what Soften Up 1 does. And as a 6-star EX striker, this is probably important because you're hitting every single one using a sync move. We got Super Savvy 9. Every time you use a super effective attack on the opponent, you raise your special attack stat +1. So you can maximize your special attack rate. Special attack this way, you can raise your speed using Fast Track 9. You can raise your critical hit or rate with Super Crit 9. That's how you do it, guys. And then, Static Shock 5 is another sync move multiplier. Lots of sync move multipliers with this guy. Powers up your sync moves by around 50% if the opponent is paralyzed. So Static Shock 3 plus Static Shock 5 in action. We got Super Sinker, applies the super effective Up Next to Vultner if the opponent, after you use a sync move on the opponent, you get a super effective Up Next effect given to him. You got Thunder Paralysis synergy too. If the opponent is paralyzed, your Thunder gets more powerful. And Thunder Super Countdown 1 basically is like Propulsion. Has a 20% chance of reducing the sync move counterdown when its move is what? Give me a sec, I cannot exactly see it. When its move is super effective. Okay, the opponent has to be weak to electric type attacks. So it's like Propulsion 1 except it has to be a super effective attack in order for Super Countdown to work. And with that said, he also gets 2 Sync Nuke tiles over there, making Vultner a pretty decent electric type striker, especially with that super high special attack stat. So I'm really excited about him. But let's move on. Sabrina and Chingling. I hope we all have a wonderful new year. I'm so glad I did not EX my normal Sabrina because this one I feel is much better. I cannot imagine how a Chingling will win against a Lucario, but so be it, guys. So be it. She is a support unit and the only support unit that we have in this update so far. I mean, wonder if Sonia, how she compares with Sonia, but Sonia is more like a debuffer supporter. This one is a nice infinite healer. I would call her that. Okay, she has confusion. By the way, guys, attack stat. It's been a while since I saw anything less than 100. And at level 140, her attack stat is still less than 100. Her special attack stat isn't anything interesting. It's very low at 122. But her defense and special defense is quite decent. 235. Speed stat, quite decent. HP, again, as I said, for some reason, they did not give any single sync pair in this update over 700 HP. Everything is below 700. But she's not about attacks. She's about supports and recovery. She gets X special attack all, basically raises everyone's special attack stat by 2. Condition Shield applies the status condition defense effect to the allied field of play. I think status conditions has to deal with poison, you know, burn, something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it is... I mean, there's another thing, which is the trap, the confuse things. Let me know if you know the final thing. But I think this has to deal with the poison, burn, frozen, and paralyzed things. And then Clear Your Mind is the most interesting about her. It's like Potion recovers 40% HP. How much HP does Potion recover anyway? Is it 20%? Mini Potion all is like 20% or 10%. It recovers 40% plus applies Endure effect to an ally. If you don't know how good this is, let me try to explain. Normally, you have a sync pair that can either just give Endure effect to anyone or can recover HP. You're still at 1 HP. Very, very low HP when that happens if you give a sync pair Endure effect. This one not only just gives Endure effect but also recovers HP. And if you see her sync grid, she also has Master Healer and MP Refresh for this one. Now, this is a 2 move gauge or 2 MP trainer move. That means you can recover, you can save a sync pair or 2 sync pairs from potentially dying without MP refresh. And potentially prolong the battle for as long as you can, especially in Champion Stadium. If the center opponent is already dead, you have a potential of extending this battle infinitely by using Clear Your Mind and having MP refresh with Clear Your Mind non-stop. I'm gonna elaborate on her once we get to her individual analysis, but for now, that's what you get, guys. So, for her passive skills, we get Team Smart Command 2. Has a 30% chance of increasing the special moves up next effect of all allied sync pairs when you use a move. So basically, when you use X special attack on all, you use Condition Shield, you use Clear Your Mind, has a 30% chance of raising your special moves up next effect. And if you don't know what this does, every single time you get special moves up next effect, this is the special counterpart of physical moves up next. It powers up your special attack moves, not sync moves, but special attack moves by 40% per stack. You can stack this 10 times maximum. And this has something to do with RNG here, because you can use X special attack all twice, you can use condition shield twice, you can use clear your mind twice, unless there's an MP refresh. So you have a 30% chance times 6 of raising your special moves up next effect for everyone. Everyone in your team, making their special attacks really strong. You get sharp teamwork, 30% chance of raising everyone's critical hit rate when you use confusion on the opponent. Raising everyone's critical hit rate using confusion, which is a 1 move gauge attack. And aggravation 4 basically raises the chance of confusing the opponent. I think this raises the chance to 50%, correct me if I'm wrong, or 40% every single time you use confusion, because of aggravation 4 raises the chance of confusing the opponent. 1 move gauge attack. And I check her grid, she does not have vigilance, so I gave her vigilance. One of the new skills that we can get with Deluxe Lucky Cookies is Revenge Boost 4. This basically raises, or rather, 50% chance of recovering 1 move gauge every single time she gets hit by an attack. And I think one of the new things is also Healthy Healing. But I check her grid, and she actually has Healthy Healing in her grid at 2 out of 5. So at 1 out of 5, you get X Special Attack MP Refresh 2. At 2 out of 5, and by the way, so many things in her sync grid, you probably have to choose whatever you want. Clear Your Mind Master Healer 1 at 2 out of 5. And another Clear Your Mind Master Healer 1 at 3 out of 5. You get Condition Shield MP Refresh 2. Confusion Move Gauge Refresh 9. Every single time you use Confusion, you recover 1 move gauge, basically making your Confusion free. Confusion Team Fast Track 2. Every single time you use Confusion, has a 30% chance of raising everyone's speed stat. Guarded Entry raises the defense and special defense +1 when you enter the battle. Healthy Healing, as I said, full HP, regen effect. Precognition 1 if you have Psychic Terrain, which until now, it's only Bianca that can cause Psychic Terrain. Basically, it quickly charges your move gauge when the field is Psychic Terrain. Psychic Stasis, stats cannot be lowered if the field is static terrain. This only applies to Sabrina, by the way. And Quick Cure removes the confused, flinching, or trap conditions on Sabrina if you get confused, flinch, or trap for the first time. Then Clear Your Mind, as I said, Quick Cure I think applies to confused, flinching, trap. Condition Shield applies to, you know, poison, burn, something, as far as I know. 3 out of 5 again, Master Healer. Then we have the MP Refresh of Clear Your Mind at 3 out of 5. Condition Shield Group Therapy removes all status conditions from all allied sync pairs if you use Condition Shield. Just in case you get burned, trapped, or rather burned, paralyzed, frozen, asleep before you use Condition Shield. Premonition 2 reduces the damage you receive if the field is Psychic Terrain. I think this applies to both physical and special damage. Recuperation 2, I think this reminds me of Wallace. Whenever you use a sync move, you get to recover 40% HP on Sabrina. Sync Free for All. After you use a sync move for the very first time, everyone gets a free move next effect. Everyone gets free move next effect. Nice. I like this. Team Tough Luck. 50% chance of raising the defense, special defense, or both of everyone when you are hit by an attack move. So this is quite good as well. And this is why I kind of want to give her Revenge Boost 4. So every time you get hit, you have a 50% chance of raising your defense, special defense, or both at 3 out of 5. But then, Vigilance probably will be better for support units so that they don't get hit by critical hit rate or critical attacks. whenever the opponent raises their critical hit rate. And then X special attack all ramped up 1. Basically, every single time you use X special attack all, raises your special attack or raises everyone's special attack +3 instead of +2. And then we have 2 Sync Nook tiles, which probably not that helpful because her special attack stat is quite low. And with that said, that is Sabrina and Chingling, and really interesting sync pair with very nice potential with healing and supporting your sync pairs. And with that said, we come to the last of the bunch, which is Lucas and Delga. If you see the screen, congratulations, you got Lucas. And as I was saying in my editing stream, this goes against the flow for other protagonists that we have, because other protagonists are kind of happy and excited about pairing up with you. It's like, let's go exploring. Let's go even brighter than the sun or sun and moon. Let's something. This one is really serious. I'm not letting those criminals get away with this. Very serious. Why so serious? Anyway, this is her sync move. Kaboom! Poor Lucario. Another sync pair or another protagonist that is paired up with a legendary. Gloria. Hello, Gloria. Who else is paired up with a legendary protagonist? Is there anyone? Not rival, okay? Protagonists. Is there anyone? Anyway, he has 2 moves / attacks. Roar of Time is his main attack, or just his attack, which is a 4-move gauge attack, dragon type, and hits only 1 sync pair. It's a 4-move gauge attack, and it's... I think the accuracy is 90%, but you can increase your accuracy stat by using It's Our Time, his trainer move, which raises your special attack +2, raises your accuracy +1, and raises your critical hit rate to maximum. So it's a 1 MP attack or 1 MP trainer move that maximizes your critical hit rate and negates the accuracy imperfections of Roar of Time. X Speed Plus raises your speed stat +3. You can use this twice to maximize your speed stat. Dragon Wish, here it comes again. Ghost Wish, Dragon Wish. They're inventing a Dragon Zone which powers up everyone's Dragon type attacks, including the opponent's Dragon type attacks as far as I know. So, a new type of thing. They're introducing those before Grassy Terrain, which we've been waiting for the longest time for our team, and not just Tapu Bulu. And then there's the Illuminating Roar of Time, his sync move, which is powered up when the field is Dragon Zone. So again, Dragon Zone already powers up your sync move, and this sync move multiplier powers up even more with a built-in multiplier. Then, you got Grand Entry 4. If you're wondering why his trainer move only raises your special attack stat +2, that's because once you enter the battle, your special attack stat is already +4 because of Grand Entry 4. So It's Our Time basically just maximizes your special attack stat, negates the accuracy deficiencies, and maximizes your critical hit rate. So that is good. Commanded Freebie 9, when you use X Speed Plus or It's Our Time, your next move will be free. So the way I'll use him is I'll use It's Our Time first to maximize my critical hit rate, use Roar of Time, then use X Speed Plus, then use Roar of Time, then use another X Speed Plus, then use Roar of Time again. Or, you know, you can also do Dragon Wish first, then It's Our Time, then Roar of Time, then It's Our Time, then or rather X Speed Plus, something like that. So every single time you use a trainer move, your next move will be free. Adrenaline 1 raises or reduces your sync move countdown by 1 after you use a sync move for the first time. So those are his passive skills. Nothing really new except commanded free D9, which is not that super impressive or something like that. His special attack stat is lower, much lower than Vultner's special attack, but his HP is quite high at 671. Almost at 700, but not quite. But if you 6-star EX him, he'll have 700 HP. Now, we got a lot of Dragon-type strikers. We don't have a lot of Dragon-type techs. We have Champion Iris though. But Lucas is another Dragon-type tech sync pair. That means if you 6-star EX him, he cannot hit everyone using a sync move, but only hit one opponent with more powerful damage if you use a sync move. So, in terms of multiplier, or rather in terms of lucky skills, again, 2 choices. I would either give him Super Powered 3 using the new Deluxe Lucky Cookies, or Critical Strike 2 with the normal Crunchy Lucky Cookies, or if you get that with the Deluxe Lucky Cookies. Again, you can get Deluxe Lucky Cookies by playing the Legendary Gauntlet coming, I think, January 20. And then, the Sync Move, or Sync Grid. At 1 out of 5, you get an MP refresh with It's Our Time, but you don't exactly have to use this. Basically, if you use this for the second time, you're raising your accuracy stat and nothing else, because your special attack is already maxed, your critical hit rate is already maxed. But, you know, with commanded freebie 9, if you get an MP refresh here, you get a free move next on your next attack. So I guess that's good. If you get an MP refresh, you basically get a free move next after you use a trainer move. Sand Shelter protects damage from a sandstorm. I'm not sure why you want to use him with a sandstorm team. The only thing I'm thinking why you want to use him with a dragon type team is that if you want to pair him up with Raihan. And speaking of Raihan, I wonder if he'll get a Dynamax form soon. I wonder if the game will give us other Dragon-type sync pairs that have synergy to Sandstorm soon? Or some other sync pair that will have synergy to Sandstorm? Because why give him Sand Shelter in his grid? Find it weird. But anyway, at 1 out of 5, you get X-Speed plus MP Refresh 2 as well, which again is worthless unless you wanna maximize the commanded freebie 9. 2 out of 5, you get Dauntless, special attack cannot be lowered. Draconic Sync 4 is a new sync move multiplier, which basically powers up your sync move when you are in Dragon Zone. So this pairs up well with the built-in sync move multiplier from Illuminating Roar of Time. Natural Remedy removes all status conditions if it is inflicted for the first time. And then at 3 out of 5, you get Draconic Acceleration, charges up your move gauge quicker when you're in Dragon Zone. Draconic Power 2 powers up Roar of Time, the normal Roar of Time, if the field is Dragon Zone. Dragon Wish MP Refresh 2 is available at 3 out of 5. Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your sync moves are, and the way to increase your speed stat is X Speed Plus. Piercing Gaze, moves never miss, so in case you're fighting against a really irritating opponent with Feel Alive 9, or Look Alive 9 rather, this will definitely help you. And then Roar of Time Mind Games 4. Every single time you use Roar of Time, there's a 50% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense, making your Roar of Time even stronger the more times you use it. He also gets Propulsion 1 on Roar of Time, basically 20% chance of reducing your sync move countdown when you use Roar of Time. and Super Command for 50% chance of applying Super Effective up next after you use a trainer move. So, this applies to X Speed Plus or It's Our Time. Not only do you get a free move next effect with commanded freebie 9, but also you have a 50% chance of giving yourself Super Effective up next when you use a trainer move, if you get Super Command 4. And then he gets 2 Sync Nuke tiles, and that's about it. That is Lucas and Delga. And we come back to this slide. Now, if you have reached this point of the video, congratulate yourself. It's been a long discussion, talking non-stop, and I hope you guys learned something. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, and let me know in the comment section who among the 4 you're scouting for. But now, you know, I will get to discussing them right now, quickly. Now, New Year Lily is one of my favorite supports, and she basically, once she uses a sync move, my favorite thing about her is that she has Team Sync Regen. So every time you use a sync move, you get to give everyone regen effect. Not only that, you have a trainer move that can increase everyone's evasiveness, and then she has Leech Life, which basically recovers her HP, especially if the opponent's weak to bug type attacks. And then she has, I think, Move Gauge what's that? Move Gauge Refresh, which is not exactly that great. But nice sync pair if the opponent misses. There are lots of things that go on with her sync grid. You can recover HP, you can lower your sync move countdown and everything. She's one of my favorite supports, and I highly recommend scouting for her. But the chances of scouting for her is like 1.5% if you decide to go for their banner. Meanwhile, New Year lands. I decided to EX him because of his outfit. I'm a pretty good fan of his outfit as well, but compared to other flying types, you don't get a lot of multipliers. You get a multiplier with a sync move if it is raining. I think you also get a attack multiplier, normal attack multiplier if it's raining. I'm not sure about that. But he gets Hyper Beam. Strong Hyper Beam flying type damage. He cannot raise his own critical hit rate. You need another sync pair in order to do that. So if you have a lack of flying types, sure, I guess you can go for him. But I would recommend other flying types and not New Year lands. I mean, if you're a fan of lands, go ahead. But it's hard to recommend lands. It's very easy to recommend New Year Lily. But then they belong to the same banner. They belong to the same banner, a rerun banner. Pretty sure if you get them, you get 3 candies, or rather 3, custom power-ups for them. So make up your mind, but I would recommend and highly would recommend New Year Lily, as she is one of the best supports in the game right now. But let's move on from them first and go back to these 4 with an analysis, with a chart comparison. As you can see over here, Renegade Cynthia is the sync pair with the highest attack stat. But then, she's the only sync pair in this list that has anything to do with physical attack damage, with Shadow Force and her sync move. No one else here has anything to do with physical attack. Sorry. More of special attacks. And New Year Vultner has the highest special attack stat out of the bunch. New Year Sabrina has the lowest special attack stat out of the bunch. But again, New Year Sabrina is a support sync pair and has the highest HP, has the highest defense, and has the highest special defense out of the bunch. Now, New Year Vultner, no questions asked, lowest defense because striker, but the highest speed out of everyone with 354. Lucas is somewhere on the middle ground, but the lowest speed stat. interesting considering he controls time and, you know, can make things stop, freeze everything, and move with a frozen time with the lowest speed stat. Just something to think about, guys. Anyway, it's not about the stats, it's about the multipliers. So here they are. As you can see over here, Renegade Cynthia has Sinnoh Flagbearer. It's the master passive skill of her, which powers up everyone's attacks and special attacks and defense and special defense. And the more Sinnoh sync pairs you have, these stats are powered up. And this does not apply to sync moves. You get super duper effective 1, 2 out of 5, and another Shadow Ball super duper effective 1, 2 out of 5 as well. And super effective up next, again, as I said earlier, can be triggered both with attack moves and sync moves if you time it properly. So if you want to time it, make your sync move more powerful, wait till the opponent is ready to use a sync move. Use Shadow Force immediately before the opponent uses a sync move. And then, you know, get interrupted, have that super effective up next, and hit the opponent with a super effective attack. We have a built-in multiplier for Ghost Zone and Brain Sync 5. As long as your special attack stat is raised, you get to increase your sync move damage. Get Smarty Pants. The lower the opponent's special defense is, the stronger your sync move damage will be. And those are Renegade Cynthia's multipliers, which is pretty okay, I guess, for a tech unit. But then, near Vultner got a lot of multipliers as well, and they are pretty easy to obtain. At 3 out of 5, you get ramming speed. This applies to Thunder as well as Discharge. Discharge hits everyone, so the higher speed stat is, the stronger your Discharge, the stronger AoE damage. Super effective up next, if I'm not mistaken, applies after you use your first sync move. After you use your sync move, it's gonna be gone. So keep that in mind. It's only once you can apply the super effective up next here. And Thunder Paralysis synergy too. If the opponent is paralyzed, your Thunder gets stronger. And then, at 3 out of 5, you get Double Down 3 if the opponent's weak to electric type attacks. Stronger damage. If the opponent is paralyzed, 2 out of 5, you get Static Shock 3. 3 out of 5, you get Static Shock 5. Strong. So, around 80% increase in your damage if the opponent is paralyzed, which is nice. Super effective up next. It's probably a little bit hard to obtain here, but you know, if you have red, the OG red, and you give you and me to Vultner, you get to power him up. Also, don't forget that after you use your sync move, you get to set up electric terrain. And electric terrain powers up electric type attacks. This not only applies to normal attacks but also sync moves. But then, it's gonna be difficult to have electric terrain on him using sync move, then land another sync move. It's gonna be hard to extend it that long. I doubt you will be able to do that. Near Sabrina, you have her trainer move, or rather her passive skill, to give everyone special moves up next. And this can not apply just to Sabrina, but you're basically giving it to everyone with the super or special moves up next. And then, she does not exactly have any sync move multipliers, but then, she excels not as an attacker, but as a support unit. So she's pretty good with that one. And then Lucas over here, Draconic Power 2, built-in Dragon Zone, Draconic Sync, a lot to do with Dragon Zone. So as long as you have Dragon Zone, your attacks and sync moves get powered up. I think super effective up next is the one that I was talking about earlier. Let me just recall a bit. It is Super Command 4. So if you use a trainer move, you have a 50% chance of giving yourself super effective up next at 3 out of 5. And then Inertia You can raise your speed stat quite easily with X speed plus. So the higher speed stat, the stronger your sync move damage. But again, same as Cynthia and Lucas. As long as you have Ghost Zone and Dragon Zone, your Ghost type attacks get more powerful. Your Dragon type attacks get more powerful. And this adds up to the multipliers that you have with the sync move as well as attack move. And that makes your attacks quite strong. Now, how are the numbers, as we said? How are the numbers after analyzing these guys? So, again, I would like to thank Jack and Bernard, and I was told to credit STDK12 for this one once again. Thank you for the Poma tools and stuff for the computations. Again, you can contact them if you want to know how they computed this. But the numbers, as you can see, are this. So, the highest DPS as of the bunch is Renegade Cynthia. I guess no questions asked. I mean, she's a master fair. 4,524,465 with Renegade Cynthia. And Vultner is not that far with 3,377,505. Sabrina, definitely the lowest because she's just a support unit, not really excelling, and very low special attack stat. Lucas, quite high with the DPS as well, 3,074,338. Now, for sync nuke damage, Renegade Cynthia beats the entire bunch with 23,241,686. Now, if you're wondering who's better, Anniversary Lily or Renegade Cynthia, my peeps did the computations. Renegade Cynthia beats Anniversary Lily, both at DPS and sync nuke damage. She beats Anniversary Lily by just a little bit in terms of DPS and a lot in terms of sync nuke. But remember that Renegade Cynthia can hit just one. Meanwhile, Anniversary Lily can hit everyone. Same thing for Lucas. Second highest sync nuke damage, the highest belongs to Champion Iris. Definitely one of the strongest sync nukers. But 21,007,981 sync nuke damage. And quite high in terms of DPS as well. And New Year Vultner actually has a high sync nuke damage for a striker as well. For a striker, guys. For a striker. 9,995,926. But definitely cannot beat Signasuit, Luzamine in terms of sync nuke damage. But one of the highest strike sync nukers. In fact, I think he's the highest strike sync nuker in the game. Or rather, the highest damaging strike electric sync nuker. The highest I think belongs to Sophocles. N is pretty low on the sync nuke list. New Year Vultner is quite high. And with that said, those are the numbers, guys. And let's come back. You know, there's not just them, you know. Again, we have New Year Lily, we have New Year Lance, which I have already discussed. But we have more. We have more. We have these guys. And if you don't know, they're all returning. January 1 to January 22, we have Lance, Cynthia, Steven. But the good news here is I think that banner is free. January 1 to 7, there's a New Year challenge, daily challenge something. Every time you play, you get to earn tickets. And you can use those tickets in order to pull on their banner. I'm not sure how the tickets work. But you can pull on the banner and get a chance to get Lance, Cynthia, and Steven. Now, these other banners over here, unfortunately, are paid banners. They're paid banners. Let me just confirm that I am not just inventing stuff. Let me confirm the fire thing. Water, fire, and bug type Pokefair Scout. Yes. Oh wait, no. This banner is non-paid. This banner is non-paid. The others are paid. So, Leon, or rather, Cygnus with Leon's banner is basically called a 5-star select Pokefair Scout times 25. This one is also a 5-star select scout times 25. Basically, after scouting for 25 sync pairs by random, you have a choice. You can choose one unit of your choice. Thing is, they cost 5,000 paid gems. 5,000 paid gems in order to scout for those banners. I think you can only do this once, but 5,000 paid gems in order to scout on their banners, and you know how painful it is to spend that amount of gems. But if you need any one of these units, you know, just invest 5,000 paid gems and get the unit you want. I mean, if I were to choose in these banners, I would choose Classic Red, and I would choose Marnie. Very strong sync pair. Red and Marnie. Meanwhile, this one, I'll probably choose Steven, and in this banner, I'll choose Cygnus with Blue. But then, this one is like not a select scout. I think this one is random, and the others are select scout. The first one, I'm not sure. The second and the third one are select scouts. This one is random. So January 1 to 22 for the first one, January 1 to 17 for the second and third, and this one is January 20 until I'm covering it February 2. So, is it worth it to scout for these ones, or more worth it to scout for these ones? It's completely up to you, but after I discuss everything, I hope you learned something, and if you did, this ate up my entire yesterday and today. I would appreciate it if, again, you would hit the thumbs up button right now, because I sacrificed a nice dinner for this one, as well as 24 hours of my life doing these videos. And with that said, I would like to finalize or end with something that I always love to say every single time I do these videos, and that is, go for your favorites. You don't need to follow what we say. You don't have to follow what other people say. I'm just here to guide you, you know, with your decisions. I'm here to bring data and analysis and my interpretations of these guys, and you know, just follow your heart, follow your dreams. Gems are hard to earn, but if you check my gem count video, we will have enough to go to scout points for any banner of your choice. So, spend your gems wisely, and it's all up to you. Whatever happens, you know, be grateful for whoever you get. Don't be too frustrated. It's just a game. It's just a game. It's just a game, Sol. Don't get too frustrated. And with that said, we have come to the end of this video. Again, these sync pairs are coming. We have December 27, Cynthia, Renegade Cynthia. January 1 to 17, both New Year Vultner and New Year Sabrina. January 13, we have Lucas. January 4, we have the reruns of New Year Lily and New Year Lands. And a lot of other banners existing during this time. But remember, Renegade Cynthia lasts for 2 months. Lucas lasts for more than a month. It's up to you guys. It's up to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I would like to give a huge shout out to my members. Thank you to Shadow Phil, Alcin, and Aryan for being 1-year members. Thank you to all my other members. Thank you, John909, Popdio Gaming, Roy Mustango, yes, I remembered. Luca Midi, Arma Kose, Popwatt, Visual, Chrome Dome, Sasri Embryon, Blue Rose, Ranger, and Marcella for all your support. Really appreciate it. You guys keep me going, even though sometimes I feel that it's so difficult to do these videos, but you guys keep me going. And you know, all the thumbs ups, I appreciate it. All the comments, even though sometimes I'm not able to reply, really appreciate it as well. So let me know in the comment section who you're scouting and who you are considering ignoring completely. And with that said, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist team's called Grunt. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Right.